Are we ready? Do we want to dig into
it's time for Thunderbolts.
The most recent idea Marvel is pitching at us?
Their new Disney Plus.
Oh boy. Okay, so Thunderbolts. Asterisk. I won't call it anything else because I refuse to acknowledge what you want me to acknowledge because you barely want me to acknowledge what you're asking me to acknowledge. Yeah. This is my review when Kelly came back home. So a little behind the scenes. I watched this movie at 4 a.m. Because Pippin woke me up and needed to go outside. And so I took him outside. And at that point, it was the day we were going to record. And so I was like, well, I can either wait and watch it with Kelly later, or I can just rip this Band-Aid off now. And so I ripped it off at 5 a.m. because I was awake. When Kelly came down and asked me how it was, it's fine, but it's not good. I think like some of the quarterbacks we talked about in our NFL preview, it is mediocre, which is to say it's not bad, but it is mediocre. It's not good. I can't help but look at everything about this movie and be like, once again, Marvel, you came away with the wrong answer on everything. And I just don't understand some of the decisions made during the course of this film, both in terms of the production, but also in terms of what the characters do. So this one, I don't know. I struggled with this one.
And that was kind of my takeaway from this. When it was done, I remember thinking, there's obviously going to be comparisons with Suicide Squad, because that's pretty much what this is trying to,
yeah.
The difference between this and the last Suicide Squad, the James Gunn one, is I actually cared about, and by care about, like interested in, liked the characters.
Yeah.
I could give a fuck about any of these characters. Like, they were all, and I usually love Bucky, and Florence Pugh is great, just as an actor, but the characters themselves, I didn't give a shit about any of them and what happened to them.
Well, and like we don't know Polka Dot Man before the Suicide Squad, but amazingly, you learn to love him during the course of that film.
Because they, in a very small scenes, like every time you see somebody, he sees his mother, you get to know what this guy is about.
Yeah.
And you care about him.
You care about him by the end of that movie. Yep. When he starts throwing up polka dots, you're like, dude, this superpower sucks.
Yeah.
I am so sorry, man. And you just don't get any of that here, which is ironic because we know all these characters way more.
Exactly.
And so, like, to start, let's start at the very beginning. So it starts with Florence Pugh going into a lab and complaining about her life and the grind of her day-to-day life and how it's just like boring.
And I'm getting tired of that whole exposition of her like, I'm bored and I'm this super spy and I'm going to do these amazing things, but I'm tired.
My life is supposed to be great, but I don't get anything out of it.
Fucking things is this.
Well, it's every one of everybody's things is this. This is the new thing is I'm a superhero and I'm still bored by life.
Yeah.
My life should be better. I'm a superhero. And it's like, no, dude, that's not what being a superhero is about at all. Being a superhero is about the greatest service you can give to the community. That's what being a superhero is about. And wouldn't you know it, Marvel doesn't get that. No. But once again, and I guess in some ways to their credit, these characters aren't supposed to either. So it kind of is supposed to work here, but it still doesn't. I agree with you. I like Florence Pugh as an actor.
Yeah.
I guess I like Yelena. I kind of nothing Yelena.
Yeah.
Because she's just a funnier Black Widow, but it's just there's not enough there for me to genuinely care about any of it.
The only time I cared about her, I think, was and this may because she was the best part of the show, was the Hawkeye show.
Yeah. Well, and that was another thing, was she's complaining about her life, and I'm like, when was the last time you saw Kate?
Yeah.
Go find Kate. Kate's looking to recruit people. She's in the life that you want to lead. Why are you doing this when your answer is to go and find Kate Bishop, which would also make us as an audience very happy.
Yeah.
So, like, why are you complaining and doing this job that you hate when you have something that clearly could make your life better, but you're just not acknowledging it in any way? It's that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D-ism again of like, does the other stuff count? Because no one acknowledges it in the story.
And we always got to throw this out there. You're at the end of the episode. There's no Kingpin, no Kate Bishop, no Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And they're in New York City and all the shit's going down.
We're going to get to that in a second, too. So Yelena's doing this whole thing, and she's complaining about stuff, and then we go back to Val, who really should be Victoria Hand, and I know why she's not, because they blew that wad on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
And so they can't have her be Victoria Hand, even though she is so very clearly Victoria Hand to this almost laughable degree. She, again, is Victoria Hand, but with a sense of humor. And so Victoria Hand is supposed to be like Maria Hill, but evil.
Which is somebody online referred, and I laughed at this. They referred to as Chick Fury.
Yes.
And it's kind of how she is.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Yeah. And it's just like, Julia Louis-Dreyfus is a great actress. I don't get this. And so her whole thing is that she's being impeached by Congress and by the guy from The Wire. Which is awesome. Shit. Yeah. But Wendell Pierce, who's Wendell also Pierce. Fucking, what's his name? Perry White.
What's his face in
Jack Ryan. Yeah, he's everywhere. Anyway, I do like Wendell Pierce. Yeah. But her whole thing is that she's being impeached, and so she's trying to get rid of all this black ops stuff that she's been doing, all the science fair experiments and creating the next Avengers, because apparently the point of this story is that the Avengers are gone and never coming back, which is immediately undone at the end of the movie. Yeah. To the point where litigation is involved. And I'm like, at the beginning of this movie, nobody wanted to be the Avengers. And now you have multiple teams that want to be the Avengers? Yeah. What's going on? You can't have both, man. You either have no one who's going to be the Avengers and step up, or you have a team of Avengers that the U.S. government doesn't like and wants to replace with their own. Yeah. But you can't have, there are no Avengers, and by the end of the movie, there's two groups of Avengers. That's bad writing. You know what is also dumb. Bad writing? Having 3 Captain America types on the same team. Also, terrible writing. Yes. What are we doing? I don't care that Red Guardian never gets a shield. He's still a Captain America type to the point where he says that he's a Captain America type to U.S. Agent.
And I am sick of the point, because after Yelena is bored, she goes and searches out for Alexei and finds
who is in Baltimore. I want to make this this will be important in a bit. Yes.
And once again, they are turning this character into more of a joke. Yeah. It's like, he's Red fucking Guardian. Yeah. I loved Red Guardian in the comic books. Yeah. This is Red Guardian.
He's like, he's running this limo service. Yeah. The Red Guardian limo service.
He's Fat Thor from Endgame. Yeah. And it's like, dude.
And like, he's like, oh, my life, blah. And then the moment Yelena starts complaining about Val, he's like, I'll take it. I'll take whatever job she has. I'll take anything. I don't even care. I'm so bored. So he has the exact same problems that she does. Meanwhile, they're both complaining about how they don't have family. You're literally family. Yes. All you need to do is just hang out a little bit. No reasons given why they don't hang out. Just Yelena's like, I haven't seen you in a year. We're going to get back to this, too, because what have we been saying a lot?
Oh, the timeline.
What year is it?
Yeah, what fuck year is this?
They're going to reference it's been X amount of time.
Yeah.
A lot. But never give us an actual year.
Yeah.
So this just makes the problem worse. It's been a year since you saw him. Since when? Was that after you got back from the snap? Was that sometime during the events of the Eternals? Was that sometime after Hawkeye? When? When was that year ago? Yeah. Just so that I have a frame of reference to go off of. So, but they're going to mock us further on this. Yeah. Val gives her this job, and now she has to go to Colorado and clean out this mountain. For anybody who doesn't know, Thunderbolt Mountain is in Colorado.
Yes.
So we can presume that they are cleaning out Thunderbolt Mountain. Essentially. Also, it's important to know that the name Thunderbolts was the name of Yelena's soccer team when she was a kid.
Yes.
Who Alexei remembers certain people sponsoring, and everybody else says other people sponsored.
Yes.
And this is hilarious, guys. I know you don't think it's funny, but it is so fucking funny. We're gonna talk about it all the time.
So dumb.
And so this is a recurring joke that doesn't work the entire movie, is that, we're the Sasquatch Creek Thunderbolts.
This is our team name. It's not our team name. It's our team name.
It's our team name.
I'm so tired of
that I didn't sign off on this team name.
Oh, it's so fucking dumb.
Guys, this sucks. So Yelena shows up at Thunderbolt Mountain, and she is hired to kill Ghost. And so Ghost shows up, and she walks in after Ghost.
Yes.
And who shows up? U.S. Agent. He tries to kill Yelena. And then who shows up? Taskmaster. And Taskmaster is going to kill U.S. Agent, who's going to kill Yelena, who's going to kill Ghost, who's going to kill Taskmaster.
Yes.
And it's quickly revealed that this is just Val trying to clean up loose ends. Except, not quickly enough, because Taskmaster has enough time to show her face, that they did get Olga Kurylenko's face for a day, and then get shot in the head.
Shot in the fucking head.
So she was the entire reason for the Black Widow movie. The whole crux of Natasha's entire character growth in that movie is Taskmaster. I remember because I had immense problems with this decision.
Yes.
And then you just kill her. And she's just gone. And it's not like something that's going to mean something later on where like Yelena's like, oh, but I knew her and she was nice. And everybody has arguments over. No, it literally means nothing to the plot. Why was she in this movie only to be killed off immediately? What the actual fuck was this? Dumb. She has a terrible costume. She's not Taskmaster in any way besides by name. She doesn't even have the right colors. And then she gets shot in the head. What the actual fuck was the point of this? What the actual fuck was the point of this?
It was so dumb.
There's none point.
It was so
none point. And so they're going to burn the building, and then this guy shows up, and Bob is just like, I'm Bob, I don't know. And they say it's Louis Pullman, but it's not. It's Bill Pullman. I've seen this face for 30 years. That's Bill Pullman.
That's Bill Pullman.
I don't know what magic they pulled to de-age him, but that's Bill Pullman. So you can call him whatever you want, but I know who that is.
He's not nearly as wooden as his father as an actor.
He has a little bit more chops.
A little more charisma, so I was kind of happy to see that.
He shows up and he's like, I'm Bob. And everybody's like, Bobby, what are you doing? Blah. And they get out of this room.
And then he becomes like Yelena's pet. Like
he's her pet project.
Yeah.
Where she's reliving a bad memory and he's there. And so now they're bonding. And they're like, oh, what was that? And they got to do the elevator climb from Emperor's New Groove.
Yes, which is...
And then they almost all die. And then they don't. And then there's more fighting. And then U.S. Agent has a weird, bad memory about him being a neglectful father and all these other... Also, it's kind of softly implied to me that he marries Battlestar's sister.
Yeah.
And just fully ignores her again. So what is the character development of any of these people?
Well, they went out of their way to make him out like you should want Suicide Squad, all bad people. You want to root for them though because they're obviously the protagonists of the movie. These people, mostly bad people, you want to root for them. They make him out to be the worst human being.
He has no redeeming qualities.
No, not even a little.
You have Wyatt Russell, one of the most charismatic characters ever.
I like him as an actor.
I love him as an actor. If you've never seen 22 Jump Street, oh my God.
Oh, he's fantastic.
He's so good in 22.
He's so fucking good. And even the Godzilla TV show is great in that.
And anytime he has to play young Kurt Russell, great stuff. Again, I've seen this face for 30 years. You can call him whatever you want. That's Kurt Russell.
That's Kurt Russell.
It's Kurt Russell with Goldie Hawn's hair. It's weird, but it works. So you have U.S. Agent. And I will say... John Walker is a douchebag. So they got that 100% right.
He's a douche, but they made him into like...
But like, as a result, you can't like him.
Yeah.
Because he just sucks, which is what I've always said about John Walker the entire time, is that he just sucks.
Yeah.
If you like John Walker, you have problems because he sucks. You need to reevaluate a lot of things that you believe in if you like this character because he's a terrible person.
Yeah.
And he's always been, and he will always be. And so I guess in that way, you got it right. So they are leaving this facility, and now... Val is learning that maybe something with Bob could be a thing, and she learns this in a call in a limo. What? There's a Bob? What do you mean there's a Bob in the facility and there are people still alive? What's going on? Oh, I gotta... And so she goes to Colorado, but you know who's driving that limo? Red Guardian. Red Guardian, who I want to remind everybody is in Baltimore. This is important. So they get out of the facility. There's this whole back and forth about like, oh, we're going to do this thing. We got this plan. It's not a good plan. We're going to do it anyway. And then the plan goes to shit. And they get out of the facility. And the only way they get out of the facility is by having Bob be like, I'm going to be a hero. And he goes and he gets shot by a bunch of guns. And Val's like, no. And Yelena's like, no. And then Bob has superpowers because he's the Sentry. Of course he fucking is. Because if you know Marvel, you know who the Sentry is. He's one of the 9 Superman equivalents that Marvel has kicking around out there with fucking Hyperion and Gladiator and like literally 6 other guys. There's so many Superman equivalencies. You think the boys were the first ones to have that idea? No. Bob can fly now, and Bob falls out of the sky and crashes, and everybody's like, well, Bob's dead. I guess we're going to leave. And then they leave. They run into Alexei, who has driven his limo from Baltimore overnight to Colorado. And it is at this moment where we all look around and we're like, does Marvel know what size is? How size works? How space works? Do you know how far Baltimore is from Colorado? You can pick anywhere in Colorado. I don't even care. It can be the most eastern point in Colorado, which would be crazy because that's the flattest point in Colorado. And there's no way. I know because I've driven it.
Yeah.
There is no way. Driving all night, they imply that he has a pee bottle in it. I don't care. There is no way.
Especially a big limo like that only goes probably 80 miles an hour at best.
Which they show. His top speed is 50 miles an hour in this car. There is literally no way. So you're insane on top of everything. There are 5th graders who understand geography better than you. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But what are you doing? Here's my thing. What are you doing? So now we get the funny split up of these 5 idiots running around trying to figure out their lives. I guess it's 4 idiots.
And then, Bucky shows up.
And then Bucky shows up to save them at one point or arrest them. And then is like, I guess I need a team. I guess you guys are going to have to do. And, we're the Thunderbolts. We're the Mississippi Creek Thunderbolts. Whatever the fuck her name was. Brought to you by Dimitri. No, it's not brought to you by Dimitri. It's brought to you by Sam. Who fucking cares?
So dumb.
Is this funny? This is not funny. No one could deliver this and have it be funny.
It's so stupid.
So Bob gets the full makeover. Bob gets hair extensions.
Which is so goofy.
Which, like, if you just wanted Bob to have long hair, you could have done that without him having hair extensions. He was in a med bed.
And then they dyed it blonde.
And then they dyed it blonde because Sentry is blonde in the comics. Again.
But they say that it's because blondes have, like, a better image or something like...
but, like, so again, funny. I'm just left being like, but you didn't need to.
Yeah.
You could have just had him as a long-haired blonde man in this med bed, and then he gets out, and he's been in there for a while, clearly, because he has long hair. Mm-hmm. When this character was going to be played by Stephen Yuan, were you going to give him long, flowing blonde hair still? What was the plan here? And so they do an okay job of adapting Sentry. It's fine. Sentry kicks the ass of all the Thunderbolts because of course he does.
It's the same kind of thing that with Superman. It's why I've always had this problem where, like, when you have the army going against, like, this big monster and they shoot it 3 times, it's obviously the bullets don't work, but they're going to keep shooting it.
Yeah.
Well, this fight scene was like that, where it's like Alexei keeps running at him and it's like, you're not going to hurt him. Why are you shooting him with a gun?
Yeah.
You know that is not going to affect him.
Yeah.
And they just continuously do that. It's the dumbest trope.
It's so stupid.
I'm so tired of that.
And then he, like, maybe Sentry had telekinesis. It's possible, but I think that was a little much. I don't know that he needed to have full telekinesis. It's like they're trying to put their Wanda
into him now.
It's and it's just like, okay, I really don't remember Sentry doing telekinetic stuff. I remember him being a Superman clone. So he did a lot of punching. He had lasers. He had force push and all these other things. But he didn't have, like, telekinesis. Mm. When I say force push, I mean, like, he would push the air at such force that it would push you backwards. Kind of like the Hulk slap. Exactly.
Clap.
Which he kind of does at one point.
Yeah.
And so, wouldn't you know it, the big thing about all of this is that Bob has been a drug addict the whole time and came from a very abusive home and has a whole host of mental disorders and problems. And I would say interesting, usually interesting. Mm-hmm. This is not, again, this is a little different than the Sentry that I know, but not so far off that I don't recognize him. I did have to go back to the comics that I have while I was reading it, while I was watching it, and be like, is this, what, do I remember this? Is this a thing? Because at one point, going back to this whole idea of him being telepathic, they get into his mind via Emma Frost. It's not like he brings them into a mind domain or something. So, like, I don't know. I kind of go back and forth on him being telepathic. But all of this is to end with this idea of the void, which is the thing that Elena has been running from the whole time, because she keeps on saying, like, I feel like I'm on the edge of a void. And this is how she and Sentry bond, is that they keep on talking about being at the edge of the void. And is it easier just to kill yourself and, release yourself and everybody else in this world from your hold? And okay, all right.
But the thing that jumped out at me, and I wonder if this jumped out at you, is they took the void's power from Dagger and Cloak and Dagger, where, like, people look like he was vaporizing them. No, he was just sucking them.
See, so this was the thing that really pissed me off, is that you have the Thunderbolts realign because the void is loose.
Yeah.
They had this stun button that they were supposed to be able to use to shut down the Sentry, and it doesn't work. Oh, it's crazy. And so the void is now loose. I did like how they did the void, that they just kind of backlit him. So
it did look
cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
You have this a genuine moment where you have all these parts of this building falling down and all the Thunderbolts come together to save people. And I'm like, okay, this is good. We were just talking about in Superman that we don't see enough civilians being saved. This is good. I like this. You have this big moment between Yelena and Alexei, and she calls him dad, and it's very heartfelt. And I like that moment. I like that moment a lot, in part because it's outside of Grand Central, but also because it's a good moment.
Well, again, the thing that I have an issue with that is the timing of that moment. It's like the I love you in the middle of a battle thing. It's like, this timing was just off.
Yeah, because they got their asses kicked and literally just walk out of the building. They're like, well, we can't stop this. I guess we're going to leave. Yeah. And they just leave. They're escorted out by the army. It's not like they get thrown out of the building and have to regroup on the ground. No, they take the elevator down, which is, again, kind of lame. I get it that a lot of these aren't superhumans in the traditional sense. You have 2 super soldiers. Well, no, because Black Widow does have super strength and heightened healing factor, at least typically. It's hard to say in this version of the Red Room what their version comes with. But I did like that moment. And then you have this little girl, and she gets poofed. And you're like, whoa, are we going to take like a really dark turn? And this was the moment where I was like, I guess I'll give them an out, sort of, for why you don't have Peter and Kate and Kingpin and Dee Dee and all these other guys. Why is nobody here? I'll give you an out because it's this psychic attack. So even if they were in the neighborhood, the events of, saving all these civilians happens very quickly. And then the psychic attack happens. And so it's not like, Pete would have to be in the neighborhood in order to do anything, which is his neighborhood, but
also the Avenger Tower started to
come apart
in plenty of time for them to understand that
they should have been on their way at the very least.
Exactly.
And so, but this was the moment I was like, so this is going to go 2 ways. Either A, this is going to get really dark, which this movie kind of needs, or B, this is going to mean absolutely nothing. Which is what I think is going to happen.
Oh, as soon as the little girl poofed, I'm like, there's no way that
Marvel... No, exactly. I was like, either you just killed a little girl, and I applaud you for it, or none of this means anything. Yep. And wouldn't you know it, none of it means anything, because by the end of this next sequence, everybody's back, and everybody's fine, and none of it fucking matters. And it was just maddening to me. I was just like, what is the fucking... This is it? This is what we're doing now? And the thing that really pissed me off was the end of this movie. I like them having to fight through these psychic war grounds. I like that. I wish that we had seen everybody else's visions that they get trapped in. We only see Elena's and Bob's. We don't see everybody else. We just hear like, oh, that was unpleasant. I would really like to see some of those moments because a lot of these characters really need character growth. Really, 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 really. Again, which is shocking because we knew them coming into the movie. You would think that they would be somewhat fully fledged. No, they are still like these halfway characters that are based on tropes and catchphrases and not actual characters. So we get to the end of this movie, and the movie essentially resolves because all of the Thunderbolts come together and hug Bob and say, we'll be here for you, Bob. You don't have to do this alone. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, listen, I get it. For anybody who doesn't understand, the Sentry's powers are the way they categorize it correctly, the power of 1,000 exploding suns. That is the categorization from the comics. They got that right. Mm-hmm. But the more Sentry uses his powers, the stronger the Void gets. So he tries not to use his powers in order to avoid the Void, which in the comics, they went back and forth on whether the Void was real or imaginary or imposed or whether it was an actual part of Sentry. I think by the end, they determined that it is just part of who Sentry is. It's like this unconscious element of himself that wants to create these disasters so he can be a hero. The end of this movie is Bob basically just punching the shit out of the Void while the Void laughs. And then all the Thunderbolts come together and hug him and say, we'll be here for you. You don't have to do this alone. No, that is not the answer to this equation. The answer to this equation, as a person with depression and anxiety issues and a whole host of alphabet soup to go with it, is the Void is you. The Void is part of you.
You have to embrace it.
You have to understand that. And you have to understand that there is not a day that will go by where the Void is not a part of your life. That's why it's hard. That's why people take the way out, is because this is never going away. And the more you fight it and the more you deny it, the more you say, that's not me, the stronger the Void gets. What you need to do is embrace the Void and say, the Void is me and I am the Void, and we are together in this. And that's not what they do. Bob does not have to take any responsibility for any of his actions.
Yeah, nothing.
There is no fallout for anything that happens. Bob is left being basically the watch guy, which is he's the sentry. But he can't use his powers for anything lest the void comes back. And I'm like, you fucking missed it. After fucking 2 hours of this shit, you didn't stick the landing. Yep. You still missed the point in all of this. He's still being put upon to these other people. He has no agency within his own life still. He is still effectively a child, a baby, because he can't deal with this problem. Yeah. And so instead of finding help or learning to deal with it or any of these other things, he's just going to hide behind this group of people that are going to keep him sane. Yep. That sucks. That fucking sucks. Do you understand that sucks as a resolution to this storyline and is the exact wrong message? Yeah. In this situation, that you did this entire allegory about mental health and then you flopped on the landing. What the hell are you doing? And then they were like, don't worry about that because we have a press conference to get to. And so they come out of the void and Val is there. We also don't get to see what Val saw in the void, which I think would also be hugely important. Yes. We get to see a little bit at one point of her being a child and her dad is a gangster. Yes. So they stole Huntress's storyline too, on top of everything else. You stole Huntress's storyline from DC Comics. Are you fucking kidding me? This is exactly what happens in Birds of Prey. What the fuck is actually happening right now? So you have Val is like, oh, hang on, guys, wait, we can talk about this. And she steps through a tarp.
Which was the dumbest fucking
And on the other side of the tarp is a full press conference to announce the new Avengers.
It was so stupid.
And none of them do anything. Not even Bucky. None of them do anything. Yeah. And, like, I'm just left being shocked. Like, Bucky, you're okay with this too? Nobody's going to do anything. And then Yelena leans in and says, we own you now. Like, that's supposed to merit everything that's happened. No.
What does that even mean?
That means nothing. So all of this meant nothing. Yes. So what you're telling me is that all of this meant absolutely nothing. Yep. And then we get another kick in the face because Marvel, after the end credits, has what we've been looking for in a way. And they say 14 months later, from when? From when? From when? When did all of this happen? I need to know when all of this happened. From when? Yeah. What happened in the interceding 14 months? It feels like probably some important shit, but we're not going to see or know anything about that. All we need to know is that it's 14 months later and Sam Wilson has filed litigation over the name The Avengers, a team that he didn't want to form, and we're told that the events of Red Hulk take place before this movie. Because they reference General Thunderbolt Ross,
the president, turning
into the Hulk.
Yeah.
What year is it? That's all I want to know. But we don't have time to think about that because we have Alexi in a NASCAR-style jumpsuit, and then the fucking Fantastic Four coming in from space. Yeah. And what the actual fuck was any of this? This means nothing.
It was so dumb.
This means nothing. I'm so angry. Yeah. You left it all on the floor again. You blew it again.
It was a worse version of Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
And it, like you said, it meant nothing. Yeah. Like, to me, this was a C-.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, it was fine.
It was fine.
There were some parts that were all right.
Yeah, I like some elements of it. When Bucky shows up and gets rid of the convoy that's chasing them. Yeah, that's a good moment. That's a good moment. There's moments with Bob and Yelena that I really like. Yeah. There's moments with Yelena just being a character that I really like. Yeah. But ultimately, by the end of it, I'm just like, this means nothing. And the parts that should mean something, you got wrong. You got openly wrong. It's not like, oh, you were on the right track, but you didn't quite get... No, you got it wrong. Yeah. You just got it wrong. There's no situation where someone can say, well, my mental health, and it gets them a get-out-of-jail-free card. Yeah. No.
Especially like, okay, so yeah, he didn't kill those people, but you can't tell me they're not psychologically
damaged,
fucked up forever.
Yeah.
Especially that little girl. Dude. So it's like, and the damage done to the city once again. It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. So there's a bunch of buildings that got fucking hurt.
So one building fell down. I guess we got to take care of that. Avengers Tower is once again fallen. Also, I hate this whole back and forth of Avengers Tower being sold. Ever since Tony sold it in Homecoming, I've hated it. You ruined it. Why? This is more progression in this. We don't have an Avengers. So we're going to get rid of Avengers Tower. Why? Yeah. We clearly still need the Avengers. You talk about Avengers Compound still being a thing in Western New York. Why are we getting rid of Avengers Tower? Yeah. It doesn't make any fucking
can have
sense.
The tower in the city and have the compound and have the West Coast Avenger compound.
Yes. Because you're run by fucking Tony Stark. I don't think that was ever going to be an issue in terms of financing the whole thing. You could have it be one of those interesting things where Avengers Tower is kind of a tourist trap.
Yeah.
And there's really interesting stuff that's held there, but nothing too dangerous, except for that one thing that's held in the basement that nobody talks about. There's stuff you can do here, and you're just not doing it. And it makes me so mad.
It's so dumb.
But look, we have the bar. It's the bar from Avengers Tower. And Val's making a drink like Tony Stark. Aren't you happy? No, I'm not fucking happy. This means nothing.
Yeah.
All of this means nothing. It's like,
I agree.
It's like Val's assistant. I want to like this moment. I really want to like this moment, but it ultimately means nothing.
Yeah. And that was another thing is I can understand he probably got on a plane, but before Bucky showed up at the in Colorado to fight off the convoy, he was in Washington D.C.
Yeah.
And now
and they get back from Colorado to New York.
And they don't explain how.
And they don't say how, even though it's a group of special forces people. Like, we can assume that there's a private plane somewhere.
Yeah. But now you could explain it away if you said, okay, Bucky still has access to a Quinjet.
Yes.
That can make
that would work.
Jump.
That's all you need. Like, all we need is Wendell Pierce and his conversation about reading the packets to talk about, did you give up your Quinjet yet? And Bucky just kind of like looks off to the side like, I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah.
There's stuff you can do. There's easy stuff you can do. We're willing to give it to you because this is a comic book. If you would just embrace the genre instead of running away from it. Makes me crazy. It makes me so fucking bonkers nuts.
It just shows that Marvel still has no idea what the fuck they're
We
doing.
haven't even gotten to the fact that last I checked, I thought Ghost had her powers removed, not stabilized.
Yeah.
I thought they had been removed. And now you're saying, no. Jan stabilized her powers. And she didn't go to the raft?
Yeah.
After everything that happened in San Francisco.
Everything she fucking did.
Really? But really? Like, I need so much more than what they're giving me. And instead they're giving me stupid jokes and one-liners because this is fucking Marvel 101. We can't have anything be too serious, even the movie where it's supposed to be really serious.
See, what it seems to me is Marvel is under the implication that the fans will not look into it the way we are looking into this. But what they don't understand is the fans that are still watching these movies are us now because, once again, the fans that they tried to court are going elsewhere. And so we are going to look into this shit. Well, so make a cohesive story that makes sense.
Did I send you that clip from Crimson Tide with Denzel Washington?
Yes.
It's this clip that Instagram served me. And it's this guy getting basically talked down by Denzel Washington for overstepping his command, essentially. Because he had put some lower level guy, this mid-level guy, put some lower level guy on some bad routine because he liked the wrong Silver Surfer. And so there had been this argument over who Silver Surfer is the best. And the guy at the mid-level is like, I know, I shouldn't have gotten upset. I should have just, dealt with it. It's fine. And Denzel Washington is like, don't you feel bad? You did the right thing. The Kirby Silver Surfer is the only Silver Surfer. It's like, this is who you should be making the movies for.
And that's why Denzel Washington's a jewel.
Yeah. This is who you should be making these movies for because these are the people who care. When you say Silver Surfer, the vast majority of people are going to make fun of you. So you have to make it for the people that don't.
Yes.
And when you don't do that, you lose out on stuff. I introduced some friends to Lower Decks, to Star Trek Lower Decks, and they love it because it's so in the weeds on all the nerd stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, that's who you should be making this shit for. It should not be this other nonsense. Yeah. And it should not be for 12-year-olds when the content of this is not for 12-year-olds.
Yeah. No, I agree. All right, folks. Well, I don't need a nap now. That was NerdPod Generations, episode 170. We really hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed that.
Another deep Marvel disappointment.
Deep Marvel disappointment.
I agree. It's a C-. It
was good. It was good NFL talk.
I like talking about the NFL. That's fun.
Yeah. I'm happy it is back.
I'm looking forward to the Bills having alternate fun new uniforms.
Yes.
They have uniforms that make it look like they're out in the snow, which is great. I love that has become their brand is big snow games. Yes. I love that that's their brand.
That is cool.
Why are we wearing them on November 5th? This decision I don't get.
In the words of most kids, because.
Just because. We have to play the Patriots and they're also wearing new uniforms.
So once again, NerdPod Generations episode 171 is in the books. We really hope you enjoyed it. We look forward to next week. I think next week might be Alien Earth.
Yes.
And probably more NFL talk,
Probably more NFL talk.
I think each week is going to be NFL
Yeah, there's going to be NFL check-ins pretty regularly, I think.
Pretty regularly, which is fine. I think our fans are fine.
There have been some good trailers that dropped. I don't know if you watched the I Like Me, John Candy documentary trailer.
No, I've not watched it.
It might make you cry.
I know.
It starts with Bill Murray saying, I'm going to try not to cry.
Oh.
And ends with God crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I need to watch this documentary.
So, Al, thinking about this, who does our artwork and our music?
Our art is by Kortney Howell. Our music is by Brendan Williams and James Connolly. I am Alfred Judson.
And I am Stu Taylor.
And until next week, friends and enemies, we'll probably be on track sometime. Hey, hour 30, not bad.
Yes.
Have a great week, friends and enemies.
Peace.